Hi, Namaskara. Welcome back to our channel Wanderer's Tales. Today, before even we start this episode, we want to thank our sponsors, is ExpressVPN. As you all know that we recently moved to Germany. I think once you are away from home, the most you miss is your Indian shows. We had a lot of subscriptions back in India. So once we were here, with ExpressVPN, we could actually change the online location, still use all our Indian subscriptions, and continue watching the shows which we love to watch in India. ExpressVPN has about 94 different country and locations which you can choose from. ExpressVPN also protects you from hackers who try to steal your private information when you are connected to an unencrypted Wi-Fi, maybe in an airport or a hotel or a cafe shop or even at your home. ExpressVPN also protects you from spies who use your data for their own purposes. To get ExpressVPN, just click on the link below in our description box. When you use our link from our subscription box, you get a 3-month subscription free. What are you waiting for? Just go, use the link, get your 3-month subscription free, and please do subscribe to our channel to get more freebies like this. So back to our today's episode. Today's episode, we wanted to kind of classify it as a pet relocation episode. Pretty much when you are getting or when you are taking your pet from India to any other countries in the world, the process will be very similar, and it just might be which lab you have to choose and things like that might differ, but pretty much this video or this episode will give you a clear overview of what are the do's and don'ts to relocate your pet with you. So our process of pet relocation started way back in November. That's when we had got our visa. Just we relocating, it was way too easier, but then we wanted to get Simba along when we are coming here. The whole pet relocation process approximately takes about 3 months, and I'll kind of list what are the process and why does it take 3 months, all in the further along in the episode. Please stay with us. Now, the first process when you decide to relocate your pet along with you is getting a microchip inserted into your pet body. That becomes your step 1. Most of the veterinary docs know the procedure. They just put a microchip into the skin of your pet, and that becomes kind of a pet passport number, you can call it as. So anywhere in the world, wherever the pet is, if they scan, they'll be able to get the microchip number, which in turn will be tied to one of the pet parents' passport. So pretty much that's the step 1. Now moving forward, step 2, blood test. This is the most crucial step and very important step for the pet relocation. As you all know, we traveled to Germany from India. As of today, India is still not rabies eradicated country. So hence, whenever you have to get your pet out of India, you will have to get a certification, basically a blood report certified, which clearly states your pet is safe from rabies, and only if you have that certificate, all other further process can be done. So for this, the first step is you have to get your pet's blood drawn. What you have to keep in mind is the date from when the pet's blood is drawn. For the next 90 days, the pet cannot leave the country. So basically, you have to wait Whether the tests come positive, you still have to wait for 90 days from the date of blood drawn to get your pet out of the country. That's what it means. So in our case, for Simba, we had his regular veterinary doctor. We used to always take him to We Care Pets at Sarjapur Road. So the doctor knew us very well. So he helped us with the step 1 and step 2, that is getting the microchip done for Simba, and then secondly, getting the blood sample ready. So we used the services of a pet cargo called Global Pet Cargo, and they were very helpful in all these process. So once the blood was drawn, we contacted this Global Pet Cargo, and they kind of collected the blood sample from the veterinarian and then sent it to a EU approved laboratory. Basically, the blood sample was sent out of India into a EU laboratory, which is like federal government approved in all the European region laboratory, to get his blood tested. Of course, this whole process took about 4 weeks. We got the blood report results in 4 weeks. And that is when your next process starts. So once we got a positive response for Simba's blood report and he was given a green signal to travel, the next step was to find a bag for him to travel. So as per airport authorities, for small breeds or toy breeds like Shih Tzus, you can take them in along with you as an extra cabin luggage and actually keep them on the seat or under the seat, under your legs, and get them along with you. Of course, for bigger breeds, you cannot do this process. You will have to do a cargo shipment. You will have to send your pets in a cargo. But since we have a small toy breed, we were approved to take him as our extra cabin luggage. So when I say extra cabin luggage, you all know it cannot exceed 8 kilos. We also had a restriction on the size of the bag, what we can take our pet in. So this is kind of the bag. If you see, it's all breathable. But of course, it's a lot of anxiety for the pet because, for us, it was Germany. So it was around 8 hours flight. And our pet at least was in this bag for about 10 hours. The only good thing about it is he was with us, so we could open a little bit of the the upper portion and kind of calm him down whenever he's getting anxiety attacks, and that's how pretty much we got him. So now coming back to the next steps. So once you have the bag ready, start making your pet comfortable to sit in the bag. Initially they'll try to run away. He wouldn't even go into the bag also. So we at least tried about 3 to 4 container bags. I think the one where he at least sat down for 10 minutes, that is the bag we chose to travel with. So it's not easy. The pets get agonized. They don't want to sit in the bag. They constantly start barking. So the moment you are taking your pet as a cabin baggage, make sure you start getting your pet used to sitting in bag. If you're going to do some little shopping nearby your houses and things like that, try to carry the pet in the bag so he gets used to it, and the pet will assume it is also another safe place for him or her, right? Okay. Now, while we were choosing the container bags for Simba, we didn't exactly know what is the dimensions required. So for that, first of all, you have to choose the airways or the flight you're going to take, pretty much book your tickets. We chose premium economy because the slightly larger space, and with the two of us, we thought it will be easier to handle the pet. So that's where we booked premium economy. And then we chose Lufthansa again. We had two options, Qatar and Lufthansa, but since the travel duration was lesser in Lufthansa, that was our criteria, because we didn't wanted our pet to go through too much of anxiety due to long hours, again changing flights and things like that. So we were very clear we will take him on a direct flight, and which can go faster, and just get him out of the bag as soon as possible. So that was our goal. So once we booked our premium to economy tickets with Lufthansa, then you have to raise a pet request with Lufthansa. So you have to, there is a request form, you will have to write to them. You will have to give them how much your dog weighs, how old he or she is, do you have all the pet papers with you, do you have your vaccination certificate. So all those information has to be sent to them. And I think it took about less than a week for them to give us an approval to take him as an extra cabin baggage. So you will have to pay that extra cabin baggage amount, which was close to about 8,000 Indian rupees, I think 100-ish euros back then. So that's how we at least got a sign off from Lufthansa. Please do take the printout of the email, whatever you get from there. Once all this was done, when you are left with 2 weeks for your travel day, that is when you will have to visit the airport along with your pet. There is a animal quarantine and certification center at the airport. So we visited the animal quarantine and certification center 2 weeks prior to our travel, and we technically got our Simba's passport, which looks something like this. So they give you a document with his photo ID, which will be tagged to one of our passports, which is one of the pet parents' passport. So this is something like a passport, you get it. So this quarantine document will actually have details like when your pet's blood was tested, when it came as positive, and his color, how he looks or how she looks, and things like that. So it will have details, and it's like no objection certificate for him to travel. So this document is needed throughout the journey, because at the airport they'll definitely ask you this. With this, I think once we visited the airport, we got this whole documentation the next day itself. At this point, we would definitely want to thank Global Pet Cargo, specifically Siva Bala, who did all this process documentation for us. And it really made it very easy, because we didn't have to run around from office to office. Everything was taken care of. We just had to take our pet once to show the officers, but other than that, we didn't have any other problem. Now here is the next part. So on the day of the travel, we actually went a little early. Just a note here, we had booked a premium economy which was fully refundable, and also we could revise the date at any point of time. So based on that, on the day of the travel, we went a little early to see if there are any other process which would hold us back from getting Simba with us. So as I had mentioned previously, the pet has to be in the pet container, and along with the pet container, with the pet inside, the whole container should weigh about 8 kilos. So it is Simba's weight plus your pet container weight, which should be about 8 kilos. So because of that, technically our pet was weighing a little bit more. I mean, as you know, Simba is also quite healthy, so the whole total weight came about 9.25. So we were very, very worried. If he gets rejected to travel, there was a plan B, plan C, so many thoughts going on in both of our minds, and it was pretty stressful. So for us, the weight became a big problem. Then the officer felt Simba was a little taller than a normal toy breed, which again surprised us. So she wanted Simba to kind of rotate within inside the pet container. Unfortunately, he was not doing it. He was getting annoyed being inside the pet container, though we had trained him quite a bit, but he was just not listening. So the officer waited for Simba to take turn within the container. He was already on the heftier side, so the half an hour of that verification was very stressful for us. And the officer told us she might not approve his travel. So we literally called back our pet relocator and we told him, be on standby. We might have to put Simba in the cargo and things like that. But then the officer said she would talk to the captain and come back to us. And luckily, we got an approval to travel from the captain and the officer, and we were good to go from there. Since we had premium economy, so we had a priority to aboard the flight. So our flight journey starts from here. Again, in the flight, you cannot get the pet out because I think some people are allergic to pets, and that's where there is a restriction about your pet bag or container, and we need to respect it. So of course, Simba initially, till the lights were there, when the flight started moving, he got panicky. So one of our hands was always inside the bag and comforting him, so he knows our smell, he knows that we are there for him, we are there with him. So the whole journey, at least my hand was inside the bag. So it was his pillow till we arrived at Frankfurt airport. I'll have to give all credit to my pet. He didn't bother us too much. He was pretty whenever he was getting agonized, he was he was handling it well. For 2 or 3 minutes he would be a little barking and things like that, but he would settle down immediately. Also, what we did is we carried pet treats, lot of them in fact. So we would put the treats inside the bag, so whenever he was getting agonized, he would go ahead and eat those pet treats. Also, another recommendation is, whatever is your pet's favorite toy, please keep that inside the container. So what we had carried in the container was one blanket, one Simba's blanket, 2 his treats, 3 his favorite toys. So all these 3 are his comfort things, so he doesn't get too many things missed. And just to give them the soft feeling that you are with them, hold them on your lap, hold the bag on your lap. They don't cry much. Of course, we had the premium economy. You can place the container in the middle, and as I said, we would always have one hand inside the bag. So from there we landed at Frankfurt airport. we went to the luggage counter, we took our luggage. Since again we had taken premium economy, our luggage came the first. Before you start your journey, make sure your pet has peed and finished all his business, because then it keeps you and him both relaxed. We landed on a Sunday in Germany, and Sundays are closed for everything, so the train was empty. He could walk around a little. He was all back to normal. We didn't think he had too much of anxiety issues, except for a few hours here and there during the travel time. So here it is. We have told you the entire our pet relocation journey. At the end of it, whatever stressful times we had, however stressful it was, we are happy that Simba could travel with us, and he is now exploring Europe with us. If you have liked this content, and if you are wanting to get your pet relocation done, hopefully this video will help you with that. If you have liked our video and content, please do subscribe, share, and like, and do share our videos with your friends and family. Bye bye. Bye, Jimmy. Bye. Bye.